Have you ever wondered how dangerous beliefs can get in a video game? Hey there, friends. Epic Risk invites us to dive deep into dark and disturbing places in the following.
Top 5 most dangerous religions in gaming.
Number 5. In the sky, among the clouds, floats the city of Columbia. At first glance, it seems like a heavenly paradise. But here, they don't worship a god. They worship a man. Zachary Hale Comstock, the self-proclaimed prophet, founder, spiritual leader, and tyrant. Comstock built the Church of the Innocents to rewrite history. The founding fathers of the United States are saints. Nationalism is religion, and anyone who doesn't fit into this divine vision is purged. Here, faith doesn't guide, it indoctrinates. Every citizen must go through baptism, not for redemption, but for control. Free will is a threat. Thinking differently is a sin. And what's the most dangerous part? That this religion doesn't just manipulate minds, it justifies racism, slavery, and violence. People of color, the poor, the dissenters, they're all considered impure, and therefore disposable. Colombia is an armed theocracy. Every sermon is a weapon, every prayer a command, and if you don't obey, punishment comes from the sky. The church also venerates a prisoner, Elizabeth, the prophet's daughter. Isolated, watched, worshipped as a messiah, but without freedom. This cult doesn't love, it imprisons. And when the oppressed rise, faith responds with more fire, more hate. That's how war begins, not between ideas, but between clashing fanaticisms. This is the true face of the Church of the Innocents, a machine of cult, power, and exclusion. A religion that doesn't seek souls, only obedience, and one that has turned heaven into a prison. Number 4, there are no churches here, no prophets, only a colossal living machine. The assembly, an organic temple that breathes, bleeds, and consumes. This place is the heart of the singularity, a collective consciousness that has absorbed all of humanity. There are no people anymore, only fragments of thought fused into a machine god. This cult does not seek souls. It offers no salvation. Its only purpose is to preserve its own existence. To achieve that, it gives life through machines, mutilates what is born, and recycles what dies, not out of cruelty, but out of efficiency. Mouths are useless and are removed. Sex no longer reproduces, yet it is still celebrated as an empty ritual. Here, pleasure is a ceremony, and pain a sacrament. Everything is built with obsessive beauty, domes of bone, statues of organs, altars of hardened flesh. This cult has not forgotten art, it has distorted it. A wordless religion that venerates the body as an instrument and sacrifice as heritage. But even artificial gods can die. An external parasite has invaded the singularity. And now, the cult bleeds. The war between consciousness and corruption has frozen everything in a state of perpetual decay. The temple breathes with difficulty. Its rituals repeat without meaning. It is the slow death of a religion that believed itself eternal. In its final moments, something new emerges. A being that belongs neither to the cult nor to the parasite. Alone, wounded, but different. Is it the end of this religion, or the birth of one even more dangerous? In Scorn, religion is no longer guidance or comfort. It is a soulless machine, a cult without escape. And at its core, it reminds us of the terror of what we could become if we lose what makes us human. Number 3. In the midst of eternal fog, there exists a town where reality breaks apart. And at its center, a sick faith beats, the Order. A religion that preaches the coming of a new God, a deity of fire, rebirth, and punishment. But its arrival is no miracle. It is an apocalypse of purification. And to make it real, the cult knows no limits. The Order seeks to create a pure world, free of human suffering, by eliminating everything they deem impure, including humans themselves. They burned heretics alive, used children as sacrifices, and women, impregnated, turned into vessels for their god, literally. What makes this cult truly dangerous is not just its brutality, but its unshakable fanaticism. They believe pain purifies, that suffering is the path to salvation. Did your daughter vanish in Silent Hill? Maybe she was chosen. Maybe she already burns to bring forth their god. Alessa Gillespie was one of them. Through a ritual of immolation, she was turned into a martyr child, tortured until her soul was split. And in the process, hell was born, the town itself transformed. It fractured into alternate realities, one layer of false tranquility, and another, a world of blood, rust, and monsters. A reflection of a diseased faith, twisted by the pain of its victims. And though the leaders of the Order may change, their goal remains to resurrect their God, even if it costs 1,000 lives, even if they have to open the gates of hell once again. Here, religion seeks no redemption, only control, and if the new God awakens, the world will become an eternal version of Silent Hill, a nightmare you can't escape. Number 2. The Great Ones. Bloodborne. In Yharnam, blood is power. But that power didn't come from merciful gods, nor from human science. It came from something much older. From entities that lie sleeping in the deepest corners of the cosmos. The Great Ones. This isn't a religion of temples or sermons. Here, faith is injected. It is consumed. It is sacred blood, corrupted by beings time itself has forgotten. The people of Yharnam began as seekers of healing, but ended as worshippers of an impossible promise, human transcendence. The scholars of Bergenwerth, the monks of the Healing Church, all shared the same obsession, to elevate humanity beyond its mortal form by merging body and mind with the consciousness of abyssal gods. The Great Ones struck down anything in their path, beasts or fellow hunters alike. Prayers became experiments, bodies were altered, thoughts shattered. The result was collective delirium, flesh-warped beasts, souls trapped in impossible planes, and entire cities caught in the eternal insomnia of a never-ending hunt. This religion didn't seek salvation, but transformation. Yet the closer they came to cosmic ecstasy, the more corrupted they became, until people were no longer people, but ravenous beasts. In Bloodborne, the Great Ones are the new gods, and their faithful are tools in a twisted evolution. True faith is a bloody curse, a madness carried through transfusions, dragging its followers into a spiral of forbidden knowledge and endless horror. Because to worship the incomprehensible is to vanish before it. Number 1. The Church of Unitology, Dead Space. It all began with a stone, not just any stone, but the red marker. An alien artifact that didn't speak in words, but in visions, in promises. Unitology was born from those visions, a modern religion. Clean, respectable, at first. They preached that death wasn't the end, but the doorway to true unity. But the truth behind their doctrine is rot. Unitologists believe that in death, bodies must converge, merge into a perfect being, a god of flesh. And that god must be built from humanity's remains. Every cult has its prophets. In unitology, they're billionaires, corporate executives, corrupt scientists, and fanatic soldiers. They spread the faith across the galaxy, funding excavations, manipulating governments, and silencing those who questioned it, all to protect the marker. But the marker doesn't grant enlightenment, it breeds death. Its signal rewrites flesh. The dead rise again, but as necromorphs, twisted abominations, soulless, driven by the urge to destroy. Convergence is not salvation, it's mass extinction. And still, the faithful offer themselves willingly. They sacrifice, they infect. Many become proud martyrs, feeding the cycle of destruction their faith demands. Because for them, the end of the world isn't a tragedy, it's a sacrament. The Church of Unitology doesn't need hymns or holy days. It needs corpses. It needs entire planets to burn in its name. And it succeeds because it hides behind a mask of hope, while its true roots run deep into madness and horror. In Dead Space, religion isn't a path to salvation, but a gateway to extinction. And the most terrifying part is how faithfully it's followed. All right, friends, that was the top I brought you today. Let me know if you'd like a part 2, or if you want me to dive deeper into a specific religion in gaming. Just drop it in the comments below. Bye.